What prompted you to suddenly write a book?
I mean, I've been throwing around the idea of writing a book, and if it wasn't now, it would have been when I was a senior citizen. So I thought, like, let me get it out now while I still have a little relevancy. Because if I waited much longer, it would have been people with like getting a discount with their AARP
Yeah,
card.
yeah. It's gonna come out in like large print only.
Totally. So I
Right.
thought, like, if not now, when? I better get it out.
Okay. And what was the purpose of it? In terms of most people who write their story and tell their story and write a book, there's a goal. What was your goal?
So I grew up during the hostage crisis of 1979. And when I was coming up in Beverly Hills, the only representation I saw of people that looked like me were either like, the hijackers of an airplane or a terrorist or, like a sheik or some Aladdin type character.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us here from Middle Eastern backgrounds, and I just thought it was a great way because I'm very unique. I come from the Middle East. I have parents of mixed faith, and I'm gay, and there are a lot of people who fall into the other category where they don't see themselves in the people that are represented on television or on print or out in the world. And I thought that it could help a lot of people because I was very blessed to have family that loved and accepted me, friends that appreciated me, and I was able to be successful in society and not let my other status define who I was in a negative way.
Was there ever a time where you struggled with who you are, or did you always feel comfortable in your skin?
Not at all. I struggled for a good portion of my life. In the book, I give many stories of feeling shame because of my other status and wanting to assimilate and going home many days from school wishing I was a little white kid that didn't have to explain, why I looked different, why I ate food that smelled and looked different and, wasn't appealing to the other little kids at school. And it was very hard. I didn't know then that all of those things were the best part about me. It took a long time to get there, but I did struggle for a very, very long time.
You send such a great message on Shaz. You know, you really come on there and own who you are. And you serve as such a great role model. But I think this book is going to be huge for people who have had that type of journey, who have struggled in silence. You know, they see you, this public figure who your energy, I obviously am a fan if you haven't noticed yet, but your energy is
Thank
just
you.
contagious. And you can tell that you hold people accountable in your life, you hold yourself accountable, and you're living your truest self. But the fact that you didn't always live your truest self is huge for people. Is to see you represent that is something that I think is going to make a really big difference. And I hope that's something that you're really proud of.
Thank you. It was Shaw's was such a wonderful experience for me because people view reality television in a negative light. What people don't know is that I ended up hearing from so many people. There were kids that went to Beverly Hills High School, which is where I went to school, that were gay, that were struggling with their sexuality. And I was on Shaw's before Instagram. So they would hit me up on Twitter or Facebook. I gave some of them my phone number. I literally was with those kids because we were blessed to have 9 seasons and 10 years of Shaw's. I was with those kids from freshman year until they graduated high school. They would hit me up, they would stay in touch with me.
Unbelievable.
And I got so much from being on that show that a lot of people don't realize. Like, I was blessed in many ways. So I walked around with my cup always full because of all of the stuff that came my way as a result of being on Shaw's that people, it would be outside of like the realm of like, they wouldn't even think of such things. But I got a lot of blessings from being on Shaw's.
How did you transition from coming out is not easy.
No,
Coming from a Persian background, it's definitely challenging. But how
yeah.
would you say, for a lot of people going from wanting to come out, being closeted, to just coming out is a huge win. For you, the pendulum swung all the way the other way, right? You went from being closeted to now an advocate. How did you transition so quickly from one extreme to the other?
I think it was because of the support I got that I was able to transition from one extreme to the other. I remember, though, that I did something very unique, and I talk about this in the book. During my coming out process, I wrote fuck you letters to everyone in my life that I was going to come out to with all the rat-tattooey shit that they had done in their life.
Mm,
So if they had turned on me when I came out, I had a letter to give them because I was assuming I'd be emotional in the moment,
Mm,
not remembering all the shady things they had done. So I wanted to make sure I had written everything that they had done down in a letter with a fuck you like at the end of it to hand to them if they rejected me. And I actually never had to give out. And I probably wrote a dozen, maybe 2 dozen letters. I never had to give not one of those letters out to people.
mm,
And I had people in my life and in my orbit who came out to their families and they were rejected. I actually know people that took their own lives because of the struggle of coming out and their mental status at the time. So it was something I felt like I had a duty. You know, I was blessed, so needed to spread that positivity. When the opportunity for Shaw's came along, my mom actually said to me, "I don't want you to do the show because the Persian community and Middle Easterners are not very accepting of gay people, and I don't want you to suffer hatred or backlash for being gay and being out on TV." And I thought about it for a little while and I said to her, honestly, like, I can tolerate it. Like, bring it on. I want, if I have 2 minutes to be on TV to show people, like, my friends love me, my family accepts me, I'm successful out in the world. If anyone should do it, it's me because I've got the thick skin and I had y'all support my whole life. So I should do it. I shouldn't be afraid of the backlash.